It's a poison. That doesn't help the stress level. No, don't do it. Get a grip. This stupid video I just showed you. I almost stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show. You donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in, welcome back, folks. Good morning. Happy Friday to you. So let's recap where we're starting off this wonderful beginning of the weekend. Miami now is a home game for the championship, and Notre Dame is still trying to figure out how to work the transfer portal. Other than that, how'd you like the parade, Mrs. Kennedy? Son of a buck on a Friday morning. So whatever, I'm all worked up. I'm just not in a good place. I'm not in a good place. You're getting hit from all angles here. You're getting hit from every direction. So I don't know what mood you guys are in. I don't know where you're at with all this. I'm struggling. I am not enjoying this at all. I am not enjoying it at all. Like, it would be different. Good morning to everybody. Thanks for being here. It would be different if this was all happening in the playoff, but while it was happening, Notre Dame's cleaning up in the portal. Like, it would be a little different. You would still have the playoff frustration, right? But if you landed 5 really good portal guys and you had them in your pocket, and then you got to watch Miami make it to the title game or whatever, you would feel much better about it. Like it would at least give you something. If you had to watch Miami make it into a title game, that's going to be a home game. And you were like, all right, but at least moving forward to next year, Notre Dame's got 5 good portal guys in their pocket and we could crank it up there. Nope. I don't understand. You guys got to talk me out of this. Am I overdoing it? Like, I made this channel overreacting to everything that happens in Notre Dame land. That, like, I understand that is how my brand got created, was me overreacting to everything that happens in Notre Dame land. And there's a market for that, not the straight-laced reporting and whatever, very like buttoned down or whatever. There's a market for that. And that's how it's not an act, it's my personality. So that's how this all started. And now I'm in a place, like, am I overdoing it that I woke up in a horrible mood? I'm mad about the Miami thing. I'm fully expecting Indiana to win to set up the nightmare scenario. I'm fully prepared for Indiana to look like world beaters, and you got Indiana and then Miami with the home game. And either way it goes, I'm upset. If you get our existence is unbelievable. So I'm fully ready tonight for this to end up being a Indiana, Miami. The home game part bothers me too. Like, I don't know how they figure out where the title game's going to be, or if it's always in Miami because it's Miami and people like Miami, whatever. I don't know. But the fact that fan base that has 17 people at every home game unless Notre Dame comes there, now gets a home game, rubs me the wrong way. It just does. It bothers me. John, the logistics, the stadium's inconveniently located from the campus and there's a drive, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to hear it, man. They get 17 people at every home game unless Notre Dame's playing them. And then now they get a home game. And then you're going to have Signetti probably. I'm rooting for Oregon. I would be all aboard the duck boat. Even though, how do I say this? There's nothing wrong about this. But even the Oregon thing bothers me sometimes because the only reason they're anything at all in my mind is Nike money anyways. And that's just like luck. You know what I mean? Like Texas Tech, you're like, well, luckily some guy woke up one day and the oil was shooting out of his backyard. And we're able to monetize that and buy a roster. Like that's luck. That's not you're being really good at football. That's like that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That there's a difference between like a football-minded existence your whole life that's football, doing it like whatever. One team has oil in their backyard. Now they're competitive. Oregon has Nike, and it just so happens that guy went to Oregon, and now he's in charge of Nike, so you get to be good in perpetuity and buy whatever you need. Like, it all bothers me, man. It all just bothers me. And then is Notre Dame just trying to figure out what the portal is and how to work it or what? Ryan Roberts, you got to explain it to me. You're the insider here. You're the one who knows agents. You're the one who's in that. You're in that circle, and I see you here this morning. Somebody's got to explain it to me. Is Notre Dame just trying to figure out how this all works? I don't understand. Speed is the name of the game in the portal. Speed, speed, speed. In regular high school recruiting, you want the last visit. In the portal, you need to be fast acting to acting, bro. Fast acting to acting. And it looks like we're just acting. I don't understand. I did the video yesterday. Finally, Notre Dame's trending up for a couple really good athletes with the wide receiver and Keely, and we're trending up. And I did a video, and a lot of people watched it, and you're feeling a little better. Crickets, bro. Where's the announcement? What are you hiring George O'Leary again? And you got to do 90 hours of research or what? I'm losing my patience. So today, you better get a double announcement of two guys committing to Notre Dame. Something. But I'm telling you, it feels like Mike Martin is not doing a good job. And I am not in the goog. I'm not behind the scenes. I don't have extra levels of insight into all this as an objective, not an objective, but an observer of this from the outside. It just doesn't look like Notre Dame was prepared, put together a good plan, had the right philosophy, had the right approach, had the right money. Whatever it is, it looks like Notre Dame was ill prepared for it. And that's unacceptable. When you had nothing else to do but prepare for the portal window. You had nothing else to do, bro. You weren't preparing for a bowl game. You weren't in the playoff. And here's the other thing. Even if you were in the playoff, what does that have to do with Mike Martin? He doesn't have nothing to coach. Am I missing something? Remember the whole Notre Dame's not in the playoff, not in a bowl. You can address all your attention on the portal. What happened to that? But even if you were, Even if you were, Mike Martin is not a coach. Even if you were in the playoff right now, he should still be doing the same work. So I don't understand. So I'm waiting for some announcements to come. I woke up this morning thinking maybe today's the day and we'll officially be on the board. Is it still 19-0? 19 out, 0 in? Mike Martin, where you at? Every time you start to think this program is close to getting over the hump, every time you convince yourself this is starting to operate more like a big boy operation and you're getting things going, something like knocks you back to reality where you're like, I just don't understand what we're doing. It doesn't seem like a big boy operation. That's where I'm at right now. Whatever. Let me know if you disagree. Let me know what you think. Our sweet revenge tour is dead in January. It isn't, but it just doesn't feel like they're handling the portal thing right. I don't know what else to say. Speed is the name of the game. So that's where I'm at, you guys. I'm struggling. Not in a good place, not in a good mood. Here's the other thing, too. John, give it some time. Then we can complain the portal is over. You know what? Giving it some time started the portal complaints. Because while you were scheduling visits for Monday through Friday at the dentist's office, other teams, some that are still playing, had people in on the weekend and signed them. Give it some time. That's how you ended up in this problem to begin with the portal. Giving it some time. So, whatever, man. I mean, you can tell me to chill out. I'm overreacting all you want, but no, you cannot tell me. You cannot tell me that you think Notre Dame's navigating this all right. Something feels off. And I don't know if it was approach, philosophy, timing, money. I'm not sure exactly what, but something feels off with the way Notre Dame's doing this cycle of the portal. And they've done well in the portal before. Like, so is it strictly a Mike Martin thing? I don't know enough to know that, but it doesn't feel like it's going right. It doesn't feel like it's going right. And here's the other thing. The Miami thing. You know, I was thinking about it last night. Couldn't turn my brain off, mad about everything that happened. What did ESPN mention Notre Dame 12 times during the game? 12 times during the game they mentioned Notre Dame. Couldn't help themselves. It does make me feel a little better. Let's be clear. With this portal thing, there's more talent spread out across the college football landscape. Mike Sharton, that's a good one. Like the talent spreading out. The SEC doesn't have like all the 4- and 5-star stacked rosters on the 2 and 3 deep. Like, that's over. It's a wide open playoff field. Anybody that gets hot could win it. Other than the junior high teams they put in, anybody that gets hot could win it in this dynamic, in this year, this portal world we live in. It does make me feel a little better in a way that I'm not saying a team is in the championship game that I think Notre Dame's way better than and could beat if we played. You had that chance. It does make me feel a little better that I'm not going, it's a wide open field, and we're better than that. You had your chance to show you're better than that team, and you weren't ready to play. And I know you had a new DC, and I know you had a new quarterback. I know. There are reasons and excuses, but you weren't ready to play week 1. You weren't ready to play, and you got beat, and look what it caused. You not being ready in week 1, it wasn't even September yet. Wasn't it still August, summertime, man? What you did that first game in the summer led to Miami getting a home game for the championship, and I am losing sleep over it, quite frankly. I'm losing sleep over that what we did and didn't do has led to Miami getting a home championship game. I can't accept it. I can't accept that. It is what it is. I see a bunch of you guys have thoughts. You want to talk? We could do that. So I'm just so frustrated across the board. $5 holler. Will he be hard again? Not for a while to recover after all this. I can't take this bleep. I'm losing it. Who cares if Miami gets the championship? Me. And you probably should. Like, I don't know what to tell. Me. I care because I don't like them. So I care. And I want you to care too. So whatever, man. It's tough. This is brutal. This is just brutal. And then what? I'm losing it today. Let me get through the introduction. I have one other note, and then we'll give it to you guys. I'll hand it off to you guys. Okay. Thanks everybody for being here. 230 people first thing in the morning. It's beautiful. Yeah, Johnny don't care. Google me. If you do Google me, by the way, if you just type it in, it's just a bunch of still shots of me making dumb faces. Like, what a great way to have a footprint on Google. If you type Always Irish, there's 100 still frames of me making dumb faces. In a way, it's very, very appropriate. Yeah, hit the thumbs up. It tells YouTube you like being here. They put it in front of more people. We grow. Subscribe to the channel, the Patreon, the link in the description, all that stuff. I'm not even in the mood. I'm not in the mood to do my full thing, man. I'm not. Yeah, if you Google search John Kennedy, you're going to get a different set of photos that are a lot worse than my stupid face. So I suggest, unless you want to see some stuff, type Always Irish in the Google, not John Kennedy, or you're going to get some photos that are not pretty to look at, okay? Sensitive topic. All right, I got to yell about one more thing, and then I got to yell about one more thing, and then we'll get to the people. Then we'll get to the people, the Irish peoples. So here's the last thing I'm going to yell about. Oh, this is good. Let's talk about the SEC. Sankey cannot help himself. Every time this guy gets in front of a microphone, he cannot help himself but push for 6, 7, 8, 9 teams in the playoff. Every time he gets in front of a microphone. The SEC's 1-8 against Power 4 teams in the bowls, 0-3 in the CFP against Power 4 teams, and won't be in the title game for 3 years in a row. Maybe it's just time for that guy to be quiet. Maybe it's just time for him to be quiet. You got to look around the room and realize the landscape has changed. That conference used to be the bully on the block with a few rosters that had 80% of the 4- and 5-star talent on it. Those days are over. Those days are over, and that guy has not realized it. That guy has not realized it, okay? I'm going to repeat it. 1-8 against Power 4 teams in the bowls. 0-3 in the CFP against Power 4 teams. Not in the title game 3 years running. Keep running your mouth, though. No, I really think we should have 9 out of the 12 teams this year. Shut up. Shut up. Well, this escalated quickly. All right. Now that I'm done doing all that, I think I got out most of what I needed to. Let's get to the people. What's up, Pat?
You're
Where am I wrong? What am I wrong about anything I just went over on these notes?
Did I say did I say you were wrong? I was going to say you're nuts.
I could be right and overreacting.
I mean, that's
just Pat, it's all building up, and the portal thing is bugging everybody. And you're watching Miami in this wide open CFP field. It bothers me. Now they get a home game. What do you think, Pat?
a home game, and it's going to be mostly Indiana fans.
What do you make of I want to know what you think of this CFP, and I want to know what you think of Notre Dame in the portal. Give it to me.
I watched it. No, I only watched the second half last night. But do people really think Carson Beck is good? Like, can you? The only thing he did was throw screen passes. Yeah. He couldn't throw the ball down the field at all. He just couldn't do it. I know on the last drive he hit a couple, but if it wasn't for his terrible play, Ole Miss shouldn't even been in that game. Why do you stop running the ball if you're Miami?
Yeah.
3 weeks in a row now, or 3 games in a row now, you've proven nobody can stop your run game. They had over 3 minutes left in that game, right? When they got the ball back, they could have literally ran the ball all the way down. Ole Miss had no answer for the run game. But whatever, they probably was like, hey, we got a better chance of Carson Beck throwing the ball because it'll take more time off the clock because it'll be harder to do. But man, I mean, he almost threw 2 interceptions on that last drive, and nobody talked about that. Herbstreit picked up on one of them, and then he got bailed out on the guy grabbing the face mask. Otherwise, they would have been 4th and long at midfield, and they would have been down 3. They would have been in a lot of trouble. So I just, God, you beat Indiana. I think will destroy Miami. Indiana plays physical inside defense and disciplined defense. And it's all you need to do to beat Miami. They are nothing special. This whole playoff, and probably this is what makes me angriest about the fact that Notre Dame isn't in it, is because anybody can win it. No, outside of Alabama.
Yep.
And Tulane and JMU. Everyone else
and Oklahoma.
Everyone else probably had legitimate chances.
Yeah.
They all probably could have beaten anybody in this. Because all of these teams are bad. They're all bad. Notre Dame included. Notre Dame be bad. There is no clear-cut number 1 team like Ohio State was last year. It's just, oh God. Like the Penn State Notre Dame game last year, or the Georgia Notre Dame game, or the Texas Ohio State game last year. Those were good games because it was like strength on strength, and it was, you just had to make a better play. The game last night was let's throw to our super fast wide receiver, and because Ole Miss isn't coached up enough or Ole Miss isn't talented enough, we're just gonna let him run all around, and because there's no answer for that. Like,
Pat, what do you think of this? Stick it SEC by Domer fan. Thanks for the $10 holler. What do you think about this? He's not beating Lanning again. There is always that college football trope that it's very hard to beat a team the second time around. But they beat them in Eugene. That was a road game at a tough place to play, and they won. What do you make of that? That it's hard to beat a team twice?
I don't say anyone is a team of destiny, so to speak, because last year, that would have been Notre Dame. But I think Indiana is going to be really tough. Oregon, if they could play physical defense and they have to be lightning fast on offense. And Oregon traditionally, that's been their MO. I don't know if this team, I'm not sold on, I know he's going to probably be the number 1 pick, but Dante Moore, like, he plays well. He's definitely better than Carson Beck. But like, he doesn't strike me as like the guy. And even Mendoza, like, he's had an amazing year. He's made some amazing plays, but he doesn't strike, there's no Peyton Manning or Trevor Lawrence in this set of quarterbacks. So
it's a tough watch.
All this is hard to watch. I mean, it's probably why it's doing so well on the rating. Also, they're not going up against the NFL as much. But like, all these games are like, I know last night. Well, let me get this off my chest. Chris Fowler is the biggest douchebag on the planet.
You know what, man?
Did anyone else think he was openly rooting for Miami in that game?
I've never liked his delivery. His high-pitched yell voice is really bad when he gets excited. I've never been a big fan, but then again, I don't like anybody. You know that.
That's
So
true. But
I'm a bad judge because I find a reason to not like everyone.
Like he never bothers me when he calls Notre Dame games because I know he's a USC fan. He's admitted that he's a USC fan. So I expect him to not like Notre Dame and to not call the game evenly. But when I sit there and I watched that game last night, there was one play in particular. I think it was on third down. Lacey was running the ball and it looked like Lacey was going to get stopped short. He's like, and Lacey gets stopped. Oh, he spun out of it and got the first down. Like that's exactly what he did. Yeah. Like he was super excited that Lacey got stopped and Ole Miss was going to have to punt the ball. But then he spun out and got the first down. And it was like he was disappointed with it. Or the interception, the Ole Miss pick of Carson Beck. It was a hell of a play by that guy. And he goes, and they turn it over. Like deflation in his voice.
Yeah, you're making enough money. You should be able to hide it for 3 hours.
Right. Like, or just, like here's Keith Jackson. Everyone knew Keith Jackson was a West Coast bias guy. He liked USC. He liked UCLA. He was a West Coast guy. So he always favored West Coast teams. But he still called it fair.
Yeah.
Like you did. I never got the impression that he hated Notre Dame. I knew that he liked USC better, but I didn't get the impression that he hated Notre Dame. So like that was a guy that had a bias, but it didn't play out as he called the game. This freaking dude, he's Chris Fowler. I think he's worse than Gus Johnson. I think Gus Johnson is garbage.
It's it's all I'm just agitated with everything. All right, so we're looking at tonight. I guess I want Oregon to win, but I don't know. It's hard to it's hard to pick against the way Indiana's been playing overall. And then Pat, we gotta talk about the portal. What do you think's going on here? What do you think's going on here? I'm just asking openly. What do you think is going on?
So here's my thing. Like I don't know. I'm not on the inside. I know Ryan Roberts is saying that Mike Martin is screwing it up. I have nothing to dispute that.
He put it in the chat. I don't know.
Yeah, he put it in the chat. I don't know. I have nothing to dispute that. I do think a lot of it is overreaction, not because the guys at Notre Dame missed on. Yeah, that's a bad. If you wanted those guys, why are they not on campus right away? Why are we playing a slow game? And like the whole thing of, it's his first. Like, fine, we want to hang it on Mike Martin. Fine, whatever. It's not Marcus Freeman's first recruiting portal.
Yeah.
Okay. We know we've seen that. It's not like this is the first time everyone's committed quickly. We've seen how this works. So either Freeman screwed up by not saying to Martin, hey, this plan isn't going to work. From what we've seen last year and the years before, we got to act quickly on this guy. That's on Freeman. You could blame Mike Martin all you want, but at the end of the day, Freeman's been here for 4 years now. Mike Martin's been here for a year. That's my first part. So like, I'm not saying that Martin doesn't have blame, but I'm saying Freeman equally has blame. And then the second part is, you mentioned the 19-0, like 19 kids out, 0 kids in. Come on, let's be serious. We knew we're never going to be a plus positive. We're never going to be a positive in terms of transfer portal. And
I want to be very clear because I've been saying the 19-0 a lot just to put emphasis on it. It's not that I'm worried about the 19. It's the 0.
Right.
Like I'm not going, oh my God,
19.
We're losing all these playmakers that we were expecting next year. No, it's not the 19. It's the 0.
A walk-on court, like you got walk-on quarterbacks, you got linebackers that weren't going to see the field. You had state corners that were buried on the depth chart. They were never going to play. And like we have to look. Although I hate any kid leaving Notre Dame because I want as a true Notre Dame fan, I want the kids to get the degree from Notre Dame.
Yeah,
but at the same time, that's not a bad sign. You don't have your star quarterback leaving like Nebraska did. Yeah. You don't have where some of these programs have like really good players leaving, and that is a problem. And because they're chasing money. CJ Carr's not in the portal. Your star defensive end Bryce Young isn't in the portal. Your star safety isn't in the portal. Leonard Moore isn't in the portal. Your superstars on this football team aren't going anywhere. And as a matter of fact, Notre Dame it's a case to be said that every subtraction from this team is an addition to the roster, because you are just putting more cream up and allowing better competition with the players. So the 19 part, I wouldn't even talk about that, because it's just not worth it. It's the 19 is the 27 kids who are coming in who are going to be stars. Because how many seniors are actually leaving this team? Not a ton. There's like 12 seniors, 13 seniors. So you had to lose a lot of kids in the transfer portal for this freshman class. And yeah, and as far as the kids coming in, what did we get? Like 8 kids last year, 7 kids, something like that. You're not going to get a ton of kids in. It's the only position spot I see, in my personal opinion, is defensive tackle. So as we're seeing with the playoff, as teams get knocked out, better players are coming available. Keely.
That's true, but you're really pushing him, man.
You're really pushing. No, don't get me wrong. Yes,
it can't be the plan.
No, it can't be the plan. But you also have to remember, a school like Indiana and a school like USC is in a better position to gamble on it, or to take a guy because at that time they think he's best. Where Notre Dame is in a safer position based on the very strong, solid recruiting over the last 4 years of Marcus Freeman, to say, we can get this guy if we want him, or we could sit back because we got a pretty good depth. And if someone else comes available, maybe we could jump on that person, but we don't have to break the bank to give a player who we think is worth $1 million. We have to give him $2 million. They don't have to overextend themselves, and it's just a compliment to Freeman. That's why I think it's I'm not saying there's not an issue, because if there's a guy you want, you should get him. But I'm saying,
but if there's a position group of dire need, you need to get him, and that's defensive tackle to me. I don't feel like
I agree.
If you don't get anything, we're fine next year.
Well,
no,
I think so. I don't know what happened with Keely at Alabama and why he didn't see the field. You were right. And I watched your other video, and he did kind of start to come on late in the year. I think he did have an injury as well this year, so that might have impacted it. But I mean, if he is anywhere near the possible potential, that's a huge win. But and then also, we have to remember, Riley Leonard transferred into Notre Dame, and his credits from Duke didn't come over. It took remember how long it took for the Riley Leonard news? Everyone knew he was coming to Notre Dame. Look how long it took for Riley Leonard to actually be
whatever, fine.
announced.
But you just need to know you got some wins in the bag here, because this is
no. Hold on, time out. You need to know. The fan base wants to know. This is perception. We are dealing with perception as fans, and we are not liking the perception.
That's true.
But what does Marcus Freeman see? Where's Marcus Freeman at? Is he sitting there, I just got to get a kid to feel better? Or is he like, I got to make sure I get the right kid at the right time to make this football team better?
See, Pat, that's a big question I have. Is I would like to know whether the staff thought this would be an easier process than it turned out being, or if they knew it was going to be a pain in the ass for this particular cycle. I would love to know their thinking, whether they're surprised whether they're surprised that this has turned into such a challenge. Pat, you got multiple kickers going, thanks, but no thanks, Notre Dame. Kickers are turning Notre Dame down. I'm sorry, man, but it just feels like this is tougher than it should be.
Well, Notre Dame might be dealing with a PR blowback from some of the stuff. There might be some very good points being made by opposing coaches saying, why do you want to go there? If you win, they won't even let you play in a bowl game.
Yeah. It's just,
they make you a laughing stock of college football.
It's a bad combination. You got all the playoff games, everybody's in a bad mood, and then you're sitting there with 0.
I go back again. That's you worried about them sitting there with zero. If
Yeah, I do.
if Marcus Freeman
Am
gets,
I not supposed
you
to?
think,
Are you asking me as a Notre Dame person to sit there on Twitter and see all the other teams landing these guys they're excited about, and we have a bunch visit and land none, and I'm supposed to say, well, you're not entitled to know anything and be okay with that? Like,
no,
that's
no.
what you're
I mean,
asking?
I understand what you do, so I get it. I'm just saying that
For whether I did this or not. Like, as a Notre Dame, are you supposed to be chill when you see all these other teams excited about the guys they're landing and you're not getting any, and you're supposed to be like, whatever? What's the appropriate reaction?
How did we? Well, I don't know the appropriate reaction, John. But look at how did we do in the transfer portal last year? What
Pretty darn good.
Right, the two wide receivers were good, Malachi Fields and Will Pauling. But
dude,
the defensive back wasn't. The kicker wasn't. Like, there were definitely players that came in from the portal that also didn't help this team at all.
Renee is saying, yes, you should, because you have the main piece, which is the coach, John. But I can't be in a world where I go, oh, I like Marcus Freeman, so therefore I'm not going to question anything, and I'm just going to sit here and let the world go by and not bring it up when bad things are happening.
Again, this is where I say it's more so the world you are living in. Like I'm obviously I'm not in a room, but I'm not questioning Marcus Freeman.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm out.
I have no problem.
I'm out of control on this. I had a guy on Twitter, Pat, tell me, I wish everybody would just shut up till the whole portal's over and then judge it. And I responded, when you cover a team day to day for a living, you don't have the ability to sit there for 3 weeks and chill out. You react to what happens day to day, what the news cycle is day to day. And I keep seeing everybody else get players, and I keep seeing us not get players. FOMO. And Johnny doesn't do well with that combo.
Yeah, so you got FOMO. So you have the fear of missing out, that Notre Dame is missing out on players in the transfer portal, and that is causing you anxiety.
Yeah, because I have needs, not wants. That's a difference.
You have wants, John. You have zero needs. You have wants. You have wants of public satisfaction that Notre Dame is doing something. Marcus Freeman has needs.
If I looked at Notre Dame and said, I feel like this is a championship roster, if you could go drop some cherries on top, I'll be awesome, it would be different. This team has real needs. They have real needs to fill here that I don't think can be filled on the current roster.
I don't disagree. I especially, I mean, again, I've been saying this from the beginning. I think the only real need is along the defensive line. But there's a lot of other people think wide receiver and tight end and other positions have their needs there as well. I'm not here, or kicker. I'm not here to argue that. I agree with that. I don't know what Marcus Freeman thinks of his roster.
Yeah.
For that part. So like, that's why I'm not
fair.
That's why I'm not, fair. I don't get upset about it. If it was truly a problem, I think you would have heard that Keely. But go back to my point with Riley Leonard. It took a long time for Notre Dame to announce that he was actually coming to Notre Dame, even though it was a foregone conclusion.
Yeah,
and it was probably because he was an undergrad transfer. So Keely is an undergrad transfer. When Notre Dame is bringing in undergrad transfers, it's much harder for them. It takes longer time. So if word is that we're probably getting Keely, it's just taking a long time for him to go through the admission process because he's an undergrad transfer.
That's fair.
They kicked out most of the Duke stuff. And this is the trade-off when you're a Notre Dame fan. You want to sit there and say, hey, we hold high academic standards and we make our players go to class. Fair. Well, then you have to put up with this stuff when you're trying to get a kid to come into the university like this.
That's fair. Then
what's not true, Ryan?
I guess I'm eagerly awaiting.
Hold on. Ryan Roberts said that isn't true. I want to know what he's talking
about. So I don't know, Pat. We'll see what.
Okay, hold on. Two things, John. Bobo, I know he's an edge, but even Ryan Roberts wrote in his article he could play inside. He's 6'5", 280. The guy could shift down if he needs to be. But Ryan specifically said that isn't true. I want to know what he's talking about.
Is it the time frame he's talking about?
I don't know. I don't know. That's why I want clarification.
Yeah, it's I'm just agitated. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. Anything else you want to go over, Pat?
No, like I said, I don't care who's going to win this title. Alabama getting blown out I don't think Notre Dame was ever I think if you had to pick, I'm going to go Tim Priester. If you had to pick, head-to-head should matter. I never thought it was I thought there were two problems with the playoff. It was the fact that Miami wasn't playing for their conference championship game, and it was that Alabama got in after that blowout. Yeah. That's where I thought that Notre Dame problem was at. So I don't really care who wins. I do like watching Miami lose. So I probably will cheer for that regardless. Yeah. And I do not consider that a Miami home game, because even when it's a Miami home game, it's not their fans in the stadium.
It'll be, I don't know, man. So I'm on edge. I'm agitated. What's new? Let's see if we get some news over the weekend. Pat, thanks for joining on Friday morning.
Yep. Talk to you later.
See you, buddy. Thank you. Bruce, what's up?
John, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How you doing?
Well, I know you're probably happy because the SEC went down and you don't have to worry about that, but you've seen my monologue and you know I got worries anyways. Like, I want it all, Bruce. I want the SEC to fail, but I want Indiana to fail too, and I don't want Miami to win. And so I just have a problem with everybody, Bruce.
I see that, John. That's tough sledding.
It really is a tough way to exist.
Yes, it is. First thing, John, you're my guy, man, but did I hear you complaining about a high-pitched yell voice? Did I hear that from you?
Yeah, I know, right? Like who is Goolsby tells me all the time. He's like, whenever I'm doing a show with you, I got to adjust my mic settings for your voice pitch. Like, I understand my voice is not that of an angel, but that's why I'm not on ESPN.
I got you. But yeah, it's a beautiful morning for me. Needless to say, I was up late, and then I did the YouTube short and overslept, and I got my son to school with like 1 minute to spare. It was crazy. I woke up, I'm like, Ben, get up at 7-Eleven. It's crazy. Anyway, the SEC is gone. Ding dong, the witch is dead for the third straight season. This is so beautiful, and I love it. And so I'm thinking about this, and I'm saying, excuse me, no matter which Big Ten team wins, if they win it all, the shift is now clear and definitive, right? No matter what the mainstream media tries to tell you, and no matter what SEC fans lie and try to tell you, because it won't just be 3 straight non-SEC championships. It'll be 3 straight Big Ten titles and 3 different schools. So that is going to have to demonstrate and kill the narrative and show, okay, now we know for a fact the Big Ten is a superior conference, and it's beautiful to see. And I'm not even a Big Ten guy, but I will take that over the SEC any day. But let me say this. As for Miami, I got to give them props. They're winning the way winning is supposed to happen in the game of football. They are winning in the trenches, with physicality and along the lines of scrimmage. And it's funny because when we got smoked by Alabama in 2012, you saw Brian Kelly try to go back to the drawing board and build the team out that way. And it ended up, leading to a lot of successful seasons. But at that point, you saw the shift in college football kind of go away from that and go to the explosive, more spread style offenses, high flying passing games. So it didn't quite work, but it seems like now you're seeing the shift back. You're seeing the shift back to playing football the way football was supposed to be. Conundrum. No. Notre Dame is not joining. No, stop that. That's not what I'm talking about. Not at all. No. But no, it's beautiful to see the way Miami built it and the way they're doing it. And that gives you hope to see that Notre Dame, with a couple of tweaks, is right there among the best teams in the country with an opportunity. Yeah.
When I was watching that game,
mm-hmm.
I'm having flashbacks to our game with Miami. And one of the big takeaways from that game back in the summer was they had really good O-line play, and the defensive line was getting after Notre Dame. And I'm with you. And Freeman's the one who said Notre Dame should always be an O-line, D-line driven program. That's our DNA, whatever. And I got to give Miami credit, man. They were disruptive along the D-line when they're playing together, not the stretch where it was all weird for them. But when they put it all together, they can move you in the run game and they could disrupt with the D-line. And that's what I need Notre Dame to be more of as we move forward. Maybe have a healthier O-line would go a long way to help. And then we're investigating this portal thing because I think you need some help there too.
Yeah. So I heard you say a number of times Miami gets a home game for the championship. And I got to correct you there. They don't get a home game. They earn that. They've beaten 3 teams to get to this point where they can play at home for the chip.
That's fair.
Yeah, we got to be objective here.
That's fair. That's fair. And Bruce, the only way I could get to sleep last night, all upset about this portal thing in Miami winning, was to say, I can't say, man, Notre Dame was robbed. Like a team's going to the title that I think Notre Dame could beat and everything. That it hurts, but we had our shot to have that spot and we gave it away. And we didn't earn it and they earned it. And that started all this. I couldn't be the only one thinking if you took care of business there, this could be you in this game. And it isn't. They beat you. They earned it. And I'm upset about it.
No, I hear that. But again, I'm always going to lean towards the bigger villain here is Miami. And to your point, I heard you talking earlier about Greg Sankey. They are the bigger villains here. This is not about Miami. I'm sorry, I said Miami. Alabama. They are the bigger villain. Bama and the SEC and Greg Sankey always whining. Somebody put a comment on my short this morning saying Bama didn't have enough teams in. Maybe next year they'll get 8. Not Bama, the SEC. Yeah. And I'm like, obviously that was in jest, but it's true. To your point, Sankey is always lobbying for more and more teams. And I'm like, well, if it just means more and your teams are just better, why do you need so many? Why do you need to stack the deck? But we know why.
It's Bruce. This is going to be a rough realization if the trend continues of the talent being dispersed more equally around the country.
That's right.
This is not going away. And the SEC is going to be the last group to realize they don't have the stranglehold. Remember when Alabama and Georgia would have those rosters where it would be like a 3 deep of 4 and 5 star guys
about it.
Just waiting for their chance to play. And they would line up to be the second or third string defensive tackle waiting for their shot. Those years are over, man. And they're going to be the last ones to figure out they don't have that stranglehold on all the talent.
Right. Yeah. I think at one point you had like Eddie Lacy, TJ Yeldon, and Derrick Henry all in the same team. Man. 3 NFL running backs all in the same running back room just waiting. Guys don't wait anymore. And it's whatever. But as for Notre Dame, John, there are 2 pluses for next year. One is the manageable schedule.
Yes.
And 2 is the auto berth as long as they're a top 12 ranked program. And the plus here is
that's true.
Even if Notre Dame's roster does not greatly improve through the portal, which I know is a major concern of yours, we do have spring and we have fall camp and we have a reasonable schedule where we should out-talent every opponent except maybe Miami come November, right?
True.
And if the weather is right, we'll beat them at home in November, right? Because those boys aren't going to come up to South Bend and deal with the cold and possibly the snow. It's it's going to slow them down. Obviously, they're not acclimated to that, especially not at that time of year. So realistically, there is that chance to go undefeated. And again, against a schedule where you should out-talent just about every opponent, you're really going to have the opportunity to kind of take care of all the kinks. So I totally get what you're saying about wanting some more impact players in the transfer portal, but you have the opportunity to work on scheme and to get maybe some of the lesser guys more playing time in a lot of blowout wins next season. So I'm not totally worried about it. Obviously, you always want to ameliorate your team, but I'm not totally worried about it.
Yeah, I think that's a fair perspective. It is going to be a big advantage that Notre Dame should be able to theoretically ease into the season next year in a way you couldn't last year, in a way you couldn't this year. You will be able to do that. That should help. It's just, Bruce, I don't know, man. I think I personally, maybe some other Notre Dame fans will agree. You had all the frustration about this year ended, and the portal window was the next real time to be able to impact that roster for next year. I got really geared up for it, and you convinced yourself Notre Dame's going to be a power player, really going for it all in on 26. And you're just sitting here with nobody, and it's eating at people. It's bothering me.
So let me ask you this, John. How much of this do you think is Notre Dame dropping the ball in this portal window and in their portal scouting and portal recruitment? Or is it these kids, these young men are fickle, right? Because remember, going into this season, Notre Dame was the belle of the ball, right? They were making all the rounds, Coach Freeman and Jeremiah Love on all the shows, on all the channels, and everyone had them ranked really high. And for most of the year. Even after the 2 losses, people still had them ranked, relatively well, and so on and so forth. And people really, spoke highly of Notre Dame. Now Notre Dame doesn't make the playoff. Notre Dame skips out on the bowl game, and all of a sudden that what is it? The bloom is off the petal. Is that how it goes? I don't know that particular saying, but the shine is not the same this year. So how much of that do you think is playing a role with these kids who we know are fairly fickle in a lot of areas?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I really don't. And the other thing I struggle with is, Pat mentioned this, Bruce. There's no way for me to know the internal calculation. Another team may have a bigger need and more money available and have nobody they believe in at all and have to pay to fill a role. Notre Dame may be interested in a kid, have them visit. They want enough money that Notre Dame goes, you know what, we believe in a younger guy, give them a chance versus that value dollar amount. I can't answer that. Because if that's happening, Notre Dame's not losing out. It's you're winning because you're doubling down on the belief you have in what you recruited in a way some other teams don't. I don't know those calculations, but what I am 100% certain of is Notre Dame does not have the defensive line to make the run I need them to make next year as currently constituted. I believe that. Other people could disagree. You need help on that defensive line that isn't in the building. You do. That's my opinion. You can't just stand pat there, especially. You can't. Not good enough. Maybe people disagree. I don't think they're good enough. You need help.
Yeah, no, you always need the bodies. You always need the Jimmies and Joes, I guess, always beat X's and O's. But if you have decent guys on that D line between Marcus Freeman and Chris Ash, they can't, throughout, again, the course of the year with a manageable schedule, they can't scheme up a way to, simulate the pressure and come up with different things and confuse quarterbacks. A lot of things, if you don't necessarily have the personnel, you got to scheme it. And that's where, a good defensive coordinator and an outstanding defensive head coach who, for briefly, but was still national championship player at Ohio State and then played in the NFL briefly. Like, between the two of them, they should be able to scheme up some things if there is concern about the manpower on the defense.
I do have hope that the new defensive line coach is going to make a difference. He is highly regarded. Everyone I've read really respects what he did at Pitt. I am very hopeful. Maybe you'll see a little different of a jump in that defensive line group with Partridge. I'm open to that. But just talking bodies, I just don't see a CFP winning body frames on that D-line that I'm comfortable with. That's my main concern. But you need a kicker. I'd like a nickel. I would like a top receiver. But the middle of the D-line's my primary area I'm concerned about.
All right.
So I don't know. But whatever. People could disagree. And I know people are saying, could Keely bump inside? Or could Bryce Young move inside or whatever? I don't know. But I don't know how they're going to do this. I just feel like maybe over the weekend we get some good news and some announcements, and I'm in a better spot. But I'm on edge, and watching these playoff games pushed me more on edge. And I knew this was going to be a rough morning for me. And whatever, man, talk me down.
I hear you, John. I hear you. Well, that's all I got, man. I wanted to call in, and I wanted to share my joy, and I wanted to,
I knew you would be. I'm happy about the SEC not being in it too, but I'm don't want it to be Indiana and don't want it to be Miami. So I have a lot of needs.
I'm okay. You would have thought I was a Canes fan last night.
I have a problem with everybody, Bruce.
I get it, John.
Except for you, man. I never have a problem. Your voice alone lowers my blood pressure, Bruce. Instead of me getting on blood pressure medication, I'm just going to record your podcasts and listen to them, and it'll bring my blood pressure down listening to you talk, man. Everybody, go subscribe to the Format Podcast with Bruce Hope, friend of the show, great family guy, military man. I love you, Bruce.
I appreciate you, John, man. Thanks so much. I appreciate you taking the call.
No problem. Always. Have a good one. I love that guy. Oh, man. Yeah, I love that voice. It calms me down. Listen, you guys. Feel free to tell me if you think I'm overreacting about all this. I'm being totally open. Like the overreacting instinct I have and how that's my thing. But I don't know in this case if I'm overdoing it because I'm just mad about the playoff. And that's leaking into me having more animosity towards the portal situation. I'm open to that. Sometimes it's hard for me to see where I'm at when I'm in it, if that makes any sense. He says, Leighton says, yes, you are, but I also hate the teams left. I'm sorry, man. Sud says, John, it's actually worse than you think it is. There you go. There's one on my side. Oh, man, it's not easy to be a Notre Dame guy. Uh-oh, here we go. WPP, good morning, brother. Hello.
Hey, John, it's Pat from West Palm. Can you hear me?
I got you. What's up, brother?
Hey, how you doing? I've been trying to apologize to your friend. I don't know how to get a hold of him. I actually went on his Patreon, subscribed to it. And there's a guy there called The Ohio Podcast, but I don't know if that's that guy Eric or not. But either way, I shouldn't have said what I said about him. I regret it. I'd like to get a hold of him.
That, WPP. I appreciate that. And if you join that Patreon, and then I think if it's labeled the Ohio Pod, that's probably Eric because he's in charge of putting all that together for them.
Oh, good. Good, because there's a couple of creators there, and Patreon. It's not really clear. Now, I still think he was trolling us, but hey, at this point, I join him in his laughter, making fun of us. I'm in on the joke, but I shouldn't have said what I said. But anyway, by the way, John, I have a bone to pick with you. Eric's Patreon is $5 a month. Yours is 20 spot. What's up? I'm just kidding you, John.
No, hey, you know what? WPP, I actually talked to Eric because he wanted to kind of build his structure out similar to mine. And with a smaller following starting out and one main creator, that price point made sense for him to get some people in.
Yeah, I was just kidding you, John. Yours is worth a lot more than $20 a month, and people should subscribe. But anyway, I just wanted to really quick about the NIL.
Yeah.
I think people, I've been a big critic of, Bivacqua and Freeman and all that. I'm not sure that this guy Martin is to blame. I don't think I'm not sure anybody's to blame. And I say that because I'm not convinced Notre Dame NIL has that much money. I'm not convinced of it. Or if they have that much money, that it wasn't all spent on the incoming freshmen. You know what I mean? We can't judge this Martin guy or Freeman or anybody else by this portal stuff unless we know if they have the money or not.
I think WPP, this is a part of the problem when there's all these questions and it's unclear what's going on behind the scenes, what the money's like, how it's allocated, exactly where it's coming from, what it's earmarked for, how they navigate it all. Without knowing all that for sure, that's what leads to wild speculation because it's just so unclear. You don't really know, but Notre Dame's done a good job in the portal before. You know what I mean? You went and got Riley Leonard. You got Malachi Fields. It's not like they haven't succeeded in the portal before. So it's just a little odd.
Well, to me, the biggest criticism that I have is the difference between Notre Dame and Indiana is that Indiana had a plan. And I don't see that Notre Dame has a plan. In other words, Indiana 3 years ago decided we're going to hire this guy. We're going to go all out in the portal, and it's proceeded apace. For Notre Dame, is there a plan? In other words, what season are we making our run? If it's 2026, then you really had to pull out all the stops.
Yep.
Like Miami's plan, as I told you, I don't know, 9 months ago, Miami's plan was 2025. That was their plan. They had circled 2025 as the year that they make their run.
Yep.
That's what the guy, the defensive tackle from Miami had told me. and they're executing their plan. I don't know what Notre Dame's plan is, because they may not have that much money in the NIL. And I could tell you this I could tell you for a fact. The university is not sharing its donor list with any NIL collectives. And I know that because I know a ton of alumni donors, and not a ton, I know a handful, and none of them have been contacted by an NIL collective. None of them, not a one.
It's interesting. I just wonder how that all works. In WPP, the issue is with the all in on 26 thing, Notre Dame fans don't want to hear this, but that roster is going to flip significantly after next year. You are going to lose a lot of those really good defensive players. Like, there is going to be a little bit of a roster turnover with some key guys after next year. That combined with that favorable schedule made us all think next year's the year to go for it.
2026 is, this coming year. Yeah. No, I expect all of this stuff this year to lead to next year. I expect the entire starting lineup on offense and defense for the kids that aren't going pro, every single one of them to enter the portal. What is the downside for a college player to enter the portal? I don't see any downside. All you're going to do is attract offers for more money, and maybe you go back to Notre Dame, right? I don't know, but I don't see why you wouldn't jump into the portal and see where you stand.
I would like to ask you this question with a little bit of hesitation of how you may react. Would you be a fan of Notre Dame welcoming Keely back, or do you think he burned us once and that bridge should be ruined forever and it would be humiliating to welcome him back? Where do you fall on this?
I would tell Keely to get lost, and not out of spite, John. It's not out of spite. I would tell him to get lost because, number one, he has proven to you his word isn't any good. So you're doing business with somebody that has already stabbed you in the back. And so how could you ever do business with somebody like that again? More importantly, what message do you send for the kids, the high school kids you're trying to recruit that give you their commitment for the 2027 class? The message you send is, yeah, you committed to us, but we don't really hold people to commitments. And if you stab us in the back, it's no big deal. We'll do business with you later. I think that to me, it's the fact that we're even entertaining Keely tells me that Marcus Freeman is gone after this year, because the message he's sending to the 2027 class is commitments mean nothing, and we don't care that they mean nothing. And so go ahead and break your commitment if you want. We don't really care. We're going to forgive you. A much more powerful message, if you're the head coach who wants to be here for 5 more years, is to let every high school kid know, look, if you give us your word, your commitment, and we've made you an offer, that's the last offer we'll ever make to you. You will never attend the University of Notre Dame if you go back on this commitment. That's what you tell high school kids so they understand the gravity of a commitment. But taking Keely, and you undercut everything, and you make fools of all the kids that in that class that were told it's a 4 for 40 commitment, because you're letting Keely stay here for a year, maybe 2 years after breaking his commitment and getting the same benefits at Notre Dame. So I think it's clear proof that Freeman's leaving because he doesn't care about the long-term repercussions of allowing a kid who broke his word to come right back to Notre Dame 2 years later. That, and the last thing I'd say about Keely, and I don't want to disparage the young man, but to me at least, he's not playing up to his potential, and that's because he's not, trying as hard as he can. And I get the whole he played better the last half of the season, but he played better the last half of the season because he knew he was going in the portal and he wanted to make some money. As soon as he gets that money, he's going to go right back to slacking. And that's not a person you want, as far as team.
All right, WPP, here's a question that the chat is proposing to you. What about one of the core tenets of Catholicism regarding forgiveness?
Well, I'll forgive their stupidity for a question like that, but I will say it's not about forgiveness. It's about doing business with somebody. If somebody steals from you or does you wrong and does you dirty in business, you don't do business with that person. Do I have to explain this? Let's do. I can't even answer that question, John.
But WPP, I just think people view this kind of business very differently than like a traditional B2B business deal in Manhattan, right? Like people look at this very differently than most business interactions you or I would have. They're looking at it differently.
Yeah, they look at it like the priests who run Notre Dame, which is why we're in this mess. That's how they look at it. I mean, I'm getting angry. I don't want to get angry. You can't do business with a guy like Keely. You just can't. But you know what?
WPP, do you agree with me? It would be very short-sighted for Notre Dame to hold back resources that could be put into football when they have a pretty darn good program on the verge of really being a contender year in and year out. What a short-sighted vision to not invest in that some more. Because if you get this Notre Dame thing cooking, the money's going to come. You're going to get way more donations. Applications rise for playoff teams to the school. Like, there are so many larger impact positives that come with investing fully in the football. It's kind of short-sighted not to do it.
I agree 100%. We have no plan. If we had a plan of winning a title while Carr's our quarterback, this is the time and the place to be pulling out all the stops. Miami had a plan. Indiana had a plan. We don't have a plan. That's what drives me crazy about this. We don't have a plan. We have a plan to go 10-2 or 11-1. We don't have a plan to win a championship. And it's, I got to tell you, I put this in the Patreon chat the other day. I'm very suspicious that this isn't by design, that the powers that be at Notre Dame, don't want a championship because they don't want to be known as a football school.
It's the old Frank Leahy thing where they said, you got to quit recruiting all the good guys and winning so much. We don't want to be known as a football school, Frank. You got to slow down. They literally told him he had to chill out.
Yeah, but it's not funny. I mean, I understand why you laugh, but it's not really funny. I mean, if you look into the history of the last 35 years, right? Notre Dame had a great season in 88, 89, 90. Guess what the administration did? They pulled back on admissions in December of 91, right? As soon as they achieved success, they pulled back. Then in 2012, I hate Brian Kelly, but he had a very good year. We came right at the cusp of 2012.
Yeah.
What happens, John? A year and a half later, it's the Frozen Five, and they're suspending 5 players for BS nonsense because they pull back. Every time we get close, you see a pullback.
That's interesting. That's a very interesting angle. Man, this is just tough. Let's see what the weekend brings. Maybe we'll get good portal news. We'll be in a better position. Do you have any thoughts on the playoff game this evening?
No. I mean, my wife is going to the championship game a week from Monday. She has that friend, that connection in the Miami department, athletic department. So I have to. I'm going to the game in the sense that I'm the chauffeur, and I got to drive my wife and our neighbor to the game, and then I got to hang out, I guess, at the casino or something, and drive them back. It's gonna be a pain in my buttocks.
Ooh.
But so no, I don't. I mean, I'm hoping Oregon wins.
Yeah.
Just something about IU bothers me. And I have no beef with Oregon, right? But I don't have a clear sense of who's going to win tonight. I hope Oregon wins, but I don't know that for a fact. Anyway, John, I have to get going. I just wish Notre Dame had a plan. You know what I mean? Like some sort of a clear plan that we're trying to win in this given season. And I get the feeling that we're kind of half-assing it. It's just, anyway, I'll get going. Thanks for taking my call, John.
No problem, buddy. Take care, man. Have a good weekend. That is a tortured Irish soul in a lot of ways, man. That's tough. That's tough sledding. It really is the Notre Dame conspiracy theories. Like, man, it's just a lot. There's a lot going on there. Spicoli, what's going on, brother?
Bro, that last fan just about killed me, man. I was telling,
WPP is unique. There is no one like WPP in my network here. That he is one of one, and the way his brain works is very unique, and it's wild. What do you make of it, Spicoli? What do you think of Miami in the title game? What do you think of the portal? What's going on?
dude, I'm riding with you, man. This stuff is killing me, bro. I hate Miami. I hate Indiana. And it's just all wrapping up. Like you said, man, like a nightmare, man. And here we are. And I mean, like you said, there were some people talking this morning or whatever about how Miami deserved to be in. Bro, this could be us still. Like, it's just unbelievable, losing everything, not having anything in the portal. And then I don't know, man. It's hard to get a mind around it right now, bro.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. And I'm always over emotional with the Notre Dame stuff. Everybody knows that's just how my personality is. And it's not just Notre Dame, by the way. I run hot or cold with everything. But I did ask myself, am I overreacting because of the convergence of the timing? I'm mad about the playoff games going on, and it's overlapping with the zero in the portal, and it's just bubbling up to where I'm just agitated 24/7.
Dude, and I mean, it kind of leads off the last call also, man. Is like when I called at the beginning of the year this year, man, one of my frustrations was, in 2012, 15, it's like we're just waiting for that next year because it's like, bro, we're on the cusp. And then the next year is just flat, falls on its face. And it's weird. It's like, this is the first year we've had like this kind of great year. And it's not like Notre Dame lost the last game and kind of played themselves out. It's almost more of like, choice, someone else's opinion, pushed us out of the opportunity. And it's just crazy, bro. And I mean, it's weird though. It kind of proves that the 12th or the last team into the playoff can win the championship. So I guess it proves that point. But it's just, I mean, but I do want to give a shout out to your boy, Coach Coop, that you had on at the beginning of the year, man. I followed that dude for like at least a year, man. And just like, watching his like post game videos, dude, the guy's a character, man. And like I was feeling for him. And then like we played this year and he does the disc video. I couldn't even watch it. And then like I kind of felt, he's a good guy, man. He's been through it, I'm like, he can have it, right? And then now I'm just like, bro, it's like I kind of feel good for him because it's like, you've waited this minute. I mean, he's been waiting for that championship. I think it's like 5th. But I mean, it still just kills me, man. I mean, I'm just watching, and then like, what's his name over at Indiana, man, and then Durham going to Indiana, and Coogan getting the Rose Bowl MVP as a Notre Dame. I mean, bro, what the is going on?
It does. It feels like you're just getting hit from every direction, kind
For
of.
real.
Like, there's no refuge. I feel like wherever you turn your attention, there's a problem in your face. Whether it's the portal, whether it's the games going on, whatever it is, it just feels like it's everything right now.
And then like West Palm said, man, I mean, then you got Notre Dame itself sabotaging. It's like, is this really like? Why do we have to be stewards of the game so well? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just win a football game and a championship and then chill out for 5 years or so. I can deal with that at least. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you this, man. We're talking about when you're talking about next year and like building the team and all that. Here's a question that I don't have an answer to. We, the media and the fans, we're all thinking all in on next year, like what there should be money to spend. You're losing Love, you're losing Price. There should be money to spend. Know where you're at in your cycle of having a returning good quarterback, an easier schedule next year, knowing that you could make a run. And we all figured you're going all in. If ever there was a year to overspend in the portal, this is going to be the one for that reason. Are we sure Notre Dame views it that way? Was that a media fan creation thing? Are we sure Notre Dame views it that way, the way we all did? I don't have an answer to that.
And you're nailing every point too. Everything you said is on the head, bro. And the weird thing is Pete and Freeman are fanatically trying to chase the championship. That's what Pete said, right? And I mean Notre Dame should have money. Now we got boosters boosting up Indiana. We got Nike. I mean, bro, it's like we gotta compete, right? And I mean, next year, this was the year. I thought this was the plan. You know what I'm saying? We have Price and Love back. So, I mean, you're on point with all your thoughts. And I mean, I feel the same way with the portal. Since we didn't get into the playoff, I thought the best thing that could happen out of it is we would kill the portal. And then Indiana gets this kid, Burham. I'm like, dude, I'm scratching my head. I mean, and we got Freeman, so it's kind of like, what is the deal? You know what I'm saying? And we got Carr, so why don't we have, wide receivers should be, I mean, if I was a wide receiver, man, and I watched quarterbacks this year, CJ Carr is the bomb. You know what I'm saying? That dude right there is like probably our, saving grace for next year. You know what I'm saying? I guess, but
Yeah, man. It's just I'm ready for this cycle to be over with the playoff games and just this portal thing. We're just in the middle of a vortex of a lot of things that are frustrating. Anything else on your mind, man? What are you looking for tonight? You want Oregon to win?
man.
At least Indiana ain't in it. What are you thinking?
Okay, what we got? We got Dante Moore at Oregon, bro. I mean, do we have anybody we can root for? You know what I'm saying? Like, and even like Ole Miss losing, right? Wasn't one the running back over there? I mean, bro, I didn't even watch the game last night, Miami Ole Miss. I was hoping, praying. Well, not really. I was just like, let it be, because like it seems like I'm like with you, right? Every game I wanted to go one way went the other way. So this was the one time I was like, screw it. I'm not hoping nobody wins. And I'll hopefully Ole Miss wins. And I get up this morning, I'm like, here we go again. Like, so I'm not watching the game, bro. I'm out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Good for you.
I mean,
Good
I
for
really do
you.
feel, man, I ain't gonna lie though. I'm gonna wake up in the next morning and check the score and be like, bro, like let me
But
watch
dude,
Always Irish.
I'm proud of you though. I am, because I know I'm going to be miserable watching these games, but sure enough, like a moron, I sit there on the couch and turn it on and just get mad
Man.
for 4 hours.
And
I
see,
do it
this
to
is
myself.
And that's the worst thing about what college football. I mean, I don't want to get on like a complete rant about portal and all this, bro. But it's like the NFL, man. I'm a Bengals fan. We were pretty good for 1 year in '88, got me all up in, and then now I've been just like living in torture since, right? Well, I mean, we got close about a few years later, and they got my heart ripped out by the same defensive coordinator that came to Notre Dame, then lost to the championship, and then went back to the Bengals. But you know what I'm saying? It's like they're making college football almost like the NFL, where it's like you're not even interested because of the corruption. It's like
Mhm.
I'm not interested because of the game, because you know what I'm saying, the games are still fun to watch regardless, right? And I mean, my girl's kind of, she gets on me, man. Like she don't really like to watch any other game except for Notre Dame at our crib. So I'm a competitive person though. I like to scope out the other competition. But bro, I mean, Miami, worst to worst. You know what I'm saying? Talking trash about love consistently. They can't stop talking about Notre Dame, no matter what. And then Indiana, dude, we're gonna be surrounded by Ohio State, Michigan, and
Yeah,
Indiana. And
and
I mean, come
yeah,
on,
dude,
what?
it is. Dude, that's a really, really good point. If they end up winning the championship, you're going to have championship over there with Ohio State, in your own state with Indiana. And then you look up and you have Michigan. Titles are surrounding you, except for at your place.
And I mean,
You
what
get
is that?
surrounded.
And then what's that, thing? The good guy always loses or whatever, bro. I mean, come on, literally. We want to do things right way. Michigan cheats, and I mean, y'all know about all the other scandals on that team, and then the future scandals. They're chilling with the championship. Got to post it on. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what
Yeah.
has college football become to? And then like with the portal, this will be my last thing, bro. It sucks. I pointed out Josh Burnham to my girl on the Notre Dame, little show they had, and I was like, "Bro, this dude right here. I hope next year he has a good year. I like him. Seen him in a couple of games. I'm like, that's my dude." Next day, he's out into the portal to Indiana. I'm just like, it's really hard to even fall in love with these players. Not like, man, you used to be able to follow a dude for 4 years, and even like a Joe Schmidt or somebody, and it's like the love for the school, loyalty, love the Notre Dame. I mean, where it just feels like everything that you did love about college football is getting ripped away from you, and all that's left is how much you're going to pay somebody. And
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, I'll be Notre Dame to all day, bro. But it's kind of like, I don't know, man. It went from like, I'm excited for every next year, even if we don't win, just because the fun of the season and kind of being able to see how you could get ahead or do the right thing and get ahead or some way like that. But
Yeah.
now it just seems like there's no way to get ahead unless you cheat, like Texas Tech. I mean, dude, it's just blatant now. It's just blatant. You know what I'm saying?
You wanna win it the right way and do it our way and above board and everything else. So I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Piccoli, thanks for calling on a Friday, brother. Have a good
Oh, man.
weekend.
Yeah, dude. I mean, other than that, bro, I mean, to next year, bro, we're gonna take it, bro. We just gotta do it. Be all in. We still got Freeman, and even like getting Freeman back, it was like now they're questioning whether or not he's loyal for more than a year. It's like, who cares, bro? Let's just go. You know what I'm saying? I'll let
Let's
your
see.
boys come on and excite us up, though, man. But I'm all still good, man. We're taking it easy over here, bro.
All right. Have a good weekend, buddy. How much time you got? Tom, Chicago's very own. It's been a while since you've been on. What's up, Tom?
Hello, John. Boy, I I'm having a hard time trying to adjust after West Palm Pat's call. I got to tell you, is Dr. Gavorkian or anywhere around? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So Tom, straighten us out, man. I wanted your thoughts on the portal stuff, and I'd love your reaction to the CFP and what's going on.
Well, here, college football's broken, right? And we know it's broken. And until they hire a governor of some sort, it's going to be renegade city, right? And to talk about the portal, there's not, people are talking, there's 2,000 kids in the portal. There's more like 4,500 kids in the portal. So you don't think that Notre Dame could actually pull some kids in that they want to? And to be honest with you, they really only have to fill a couple of spots, right? 4 spots they've got to fill. I'm sure they're going to be out of 4,500 kids in the transfer portal. They're going to be able to find somebody. Now, is that person going to step up? I don't know. I just think it's just there's too much negativity surrounding the program since we got knocked out of the playoff, and it's gone downhill. And misery loves company and all that good business. I think if Andrew talked about it the day before yesterday, when he said, there are definitely some solid players that can step in. Now, what is Freeman doing? Why isn't the Notre Dame PR room doing anything? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And the thing that we do know that's going on is what Notre Dame has done in the recruiting, insofar as what's coming in next year. So, you plug that in. Look, I'm very optimistic about next year. The schedule sets up very well for Notre Dame. There isn't a team on that schedule. Notre Dame is better than every team on next year's schedule, including Miami. Because who's going to play quarterback at Miami next year? How many of those guys are coming back? This is the thing that we don't know. But what I do know is that there are 89 kids on Notre Dame's roster right now, and they can go up to 95, I believe it is. Isn't it or is it 105? I can't remember which one.
105.
It's 105. They like to stay conservative somewhere between 95 and 100, right? So there's 89 kids on the roster right now, is what I'm told. So we've got the nucleus of a great squad. And I firmly believe that the offensive line next year will be it's going to be markedly better than this year's was. I think the offense has a chance to be much more efficient in 2026 than they were this past season. You only have one football, right? And flipping back between Jadarian Price and Love. I mean, it's a hard thing to negotiate, right? So I like the receiver room, and I like the tight end room. I just saw enough of film on these kids to know that they're in a good spot. And for West Palm Pat to say that they don't have a plan, what do you mean they don't have a plan? They just built the Shields Center, and he knows that. That's part of the plan. Part of the plan of attracting these young kids that want to come to Notre Dame. And it's not black jerseys, it's facilities and investing in these kids. So, yeah, the game has changed. The rules of the games have changed. That you have to have, if you get these kids coming in, that's why they are actually they're concentrating heavier on high school recruiting and doing it the right way than the transfer portal. Now, I heard Signetti on an interview yesterday. He talked about what he did year one when he came in. He knew he was going to bring in 22 guys from James Madison, and then all he needed was 15 or 16 guys a year from high school. Well, that makes it a lot easier if he knows he can go out and raid the portal every year, and that news gets around. Notre Dame, on the other hand, isn't going to take 22 kids. They'll never take 22 kids in a transfer portal situation. I mean, look what Iowa State just did. 19 of their kids went to Penn State. I mean, it's mind-boggling. So Notre Dame has to, they've got to navigate their own waters.
So do you think that I'm overreacting a little bit with my portal frustrations and that I am not entitled to know what's going on and I should just chill out a little bit? And like,
well, I definitely say you're entitled to know what's going on, being a part of the media. And I would hope that, I wish Notre Dame was better, more forthcoming with some information that we could kind of chew on a bone for a couple of minutes and say, okay, hold on, here's a little snack, and then there's stuff coming down the line, as opposed to listening to others in the legacy Notre Dame media that will tell you, oh yeah, we've got it on good sources. Our sources are telling Keely's coming. Graham is coming from Ohio State, and there's a lot of smoke around there. But you're not hearing anything from Bavacqua or the coaching staff. So I don't know what they definitely have to spruce up the PR a little bit. It creates excitement. I think there's too much negativity around the program right now. But again, with that nucleus of the roster that they have already, how many spots are really there, and is a kid going to fit in properly? Obviously we need defensive tackles. We need a nickel. We need a kicker. And it would be great to have another skill position receiver, right? But, the fact that they haven't closed anything in the first couple of days is very disconcerting to me. I wish I knew the reason why. But to say that they don't have a plan, I don't think they want to tell us the plan, John.
I don't need to know the plan. Like Pat was totally right when he started being like, we don't understand everything. And he's like, John, you're reacting to kind of the perception of the lack of activity and then taking that as a bad plan. I'm openly saying, I don't know, but I'm just frustrated. Right. I don't know anything. I'm just frustrated.
What do we know?
A fan feeling with the portal and the playoff. I'm just frustrated. The momentum this program had seems to have stalled out a little bit, and the perception matches that. And I'm frustrated.
It's fickle.
I'm frustrated.
It is, and you have every right to be, because it is fickle. And you go from playing from the national, 12 months after playing for the national championship, now you seem like it's in disarray. But as quickly as we rose to the top, we can come back in again, right? As quickly as it came in, it goes out just as fast. And it went out in the first 3 weeks of our season this year.
Yeah.
The first two games in the bye season. So that's what they have to concentrate on.
Well,
here's what I'm thinking. If they make a concerted effort to do proper talent evaluation, we know that there's some real studs coming in next week. They're going to be enrolled. Let's get them in. Let's see what they've got and evaluate the talent and put your best 11 on the field at all times. That's what they have to do. And I think that's been the deficiency of a Marcus Freeman coached team. There's not always the best players on the team on the field at the same time. And I think that's got to change.
Yeah,
So,
it's man, this will be interesting. Maybe we get good news in the portal over the
yes.
weekend. And Tom, I want to ask one more thing on the way out. Any thoughts on the ball game tonight? What are you looking for?
Well, there's still a veneer of I don't know about Indiana. Now, the one thing I like about Indiana is their defense. They tackle well and they gang tackle. So can they put pressure on Dante Moore? If they're able to get pressure on Dante Moore, I like Indiana in a close one.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting. A frustrating watch. Tom, I love you, buddy. Hey, enjoy the Bears too. We got Bears Packers in the playoffs, so this is going to be a hell of a weekend.
But after the bad taste that was left in my mouth from the college football playoff committee, nothing tastes good. It won't taste good until the springtime. You know what I mean?
Yep. Tom, I'm with you. I'm looking forward to a clean slate for everybody to get this year over with, and we all move on a clean slate. I think that'll help.
They got an opportunity to seriously take the 10-game winning streak and run the table, and you got a 22-game winning streak going into the playoff next year, and I mean that wholeheartedly. They've got a chance to do that. A lot of things have to go right. They got to stay healthy, but with that schedule, I think they can do it. And that, it's you got your two most important games in November. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait till November 7th.
It's going to be a long wait.
I know it is.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Tom, enjoy the weekend in the city of Chicago, my friend. Take care.
All right, guys. God bless. We'll see you. Go Irish.
I'll talk to you offline, buddy. Love you. Have a good one. Ohio, $5 holler. D-line Kua Rusa. That's fun to say. Kua Rusa. I'm sure I'm not saying it right. And James Smith of Alabama and right to Notre Dame. Look at this. Notre Dame cleaning up on what are you going to have? A few Alabama guys? Is this on top of Keely or instead of Keely because it went sideways again? Oh, I'm losing my mind. Todd, welcome in, brother.
Hey, John, you need some laughter. So Wednesday I was doing that power of attorney thing again, and I had to be on the road, and I listened to the show. And Monday you had some things I waited, but of course I know you're busy. Other guys want to get in too. But first thing is, you were talking about Chicago and getting all those tickets from your relatives to go to the Cubs game, right?
Yeah.
So you was a dog, John. You was a dog dating them girls, taking them to the game. You was a dog, man.
I'm telling you, Todd, it was the easiest thing ever, man. I was in grad school and in psychology for grad school, it's more female than male just because of the psychology field. And it was easy for me I had great tickets for free. All those day games, day drinking in Wrigleyville at noon. You can't beat it when you're 22. I had it made for a while, man. I was living good.
I told you, my dad lived in Chicago and started going. He was about 5, which would have been 1921 all the way up to 1930. That's why I got the picture of St. Louis playing the Cubs that I found for $1 at a used furniture store. So, yeah, when they didn't have the lights, when it was the original Wrigley. But anyways, a couple of things. West Pat Palm, the other day he made a comment Monday, and I want to flip to this real quick because I copied something from a guy. You can still see me, right?
Yep.
Okay. So what I'm going to read this is from @566Dave, because he owes an apology to Riley Leonard. He goes, my friend's kid took a pic with Riley Leonard in front of the dome, and he walked the family to the North Dining Hall. WPP's horse, he says, is too high to be able to see what's going on. He needs to get his head out of the clouds. And I thought to myself, well, yeah, because the whole thing here is that Riley Leonard, when he got there, they were leading Bible study and stuff. That's one of the reasons he went there, just because of the religious Christian atmosphere. That was one of the decisions he made to do that. That's why. And a lot of people don't know that. And I mean, he's got to be a pretty class guy because his neighbor is Philip Rivers. And if you know anything about Philip Rivers and getting kids and adopting kids. Him and his wife have what, like 11 children, and half of them I don't think are his, and like 5 maybe are his, 6 they adopted, whatever that is. But he owes Riley Leonard an apology. But anyway, so getting back to a couple other things, you talked Wednesday, and Freeman should have come out with a press conference and let us know what I'm doing. I signed a contract. This is how long, whatever. He needed to get on top of that. He didn't. He did not get on top of that.
Todd, I don't have the answer to this. Correct me if I'm wrong. When is the last time we heard from Marcus Freeman in person? Was it the post game after Stanford? When is the last time we heard? Okay. But my question is, should he have an obligation to speak to us when he returned and say something? Or should he have gotten involved in the playoff stuff that Pete was trying to navigate? Like, I don't have an answer to this, but people are being like, why haven't we heard from our head coach? I don't know whether he had any obligation to speak to the public or not, either when he returns. And I do think complaining about the playoff is more of the AD's job. I think it's dangerous when your coach gets into that lane. I don't know, but I've had a lot of people be like, I feel a disconnect from Freeman. I don't know. What did he have to do? Get at the podium and say, I'm coming back? Like, people want to hear from him, but I don't know whether that was appropriate or when the time would have been for that. I don't know.
Well, I think he should have done an end of the year wrap up. You know what I mean? Just this is what happened. The team decided, whatever. And this is what we're looking for the future. And, and the portal, they're being selective. I mean, I agreed with Pat. We're getting too excited because we don't know how Freeman thinks. Yeah. And we don't know what's going on. He got this new coach. Yeah. And you guys were touching on a lot of things I wanted to talk about, but the new D-line coach is supposed to be super. Now, how long did those guys know beforehand they were going to be coming to Notre Dame? Was there a reach out contact point by our running backs coach who worked with them as soon as the coach from Iowa State got in? And did they immediately come in and start looking at stuff? Did he share, did our coach share things with them about some of the players? How have they been watching film? Because they all have to be evaluated. All the players are. I mean, as I learned, it used to be back in the day, 60s, 70s, you got a scholarship to school. It was 4 years, and that scholarship was good for 4 years. At some point, it changed where they could negotiate. They offered a 4-year, but they negotiate every year based on how you are doing as far as what they need for contributions from you. So they have to talk about that with a lot of people. And like Pat said, they lost 19 players, but the only 3 I see that really were going to do anything is Minchie as a backup, who has gone from, let's see, he went to Nebraska, he disconnected from them, went to Kentucky. Then I read an article that said he's headed for Miami. So I don't know. I mean, it's like checkers. He's jumping the board all over the place. And then the other one would be KK Smith, and then of course Burnham. Now Burnham, that was a hard one to take because I don't see where he thought he wasn't going to fit in this coming year. I don't understand
the legacy guys that have a little more insight into the locker room. I think it was Irish Illustrated the other day. They were saying, they literally just said he was pissed. He didn't feel like he was being valued and used as much as he would have liked.
I read that.
Like the writing on the wall for next year. Those guys that have like 1 foot in the goog, they rarely go that far with the take on a player. But they literally said he was pissed off, didn't like the way he was being used, and look for greener pastures. KK Smith, it's just, you were waiting for him to break out, but that's a lot of speed out of the door. That's what it makes me, that's a lot of speed gone.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. But outside of that, all the other ones, I listened to the kid. I was sitting yesterday, once again, power of attorney thing at Social Security. So I listened to Locked On Irish, and he evaluated all the kids. He goes, a lot of them were 3rd string, some maybe 4th string. They weren't going to get a chance to play. And with the new people coming in, they knew it. So it really wasn't that big of a loss. That's why I agree with Pat.
Yeah, I'm not that worried about the 19 out.
Yeah. I hope a lot of your listeners are listening to this, the other day I went on and I was just looking for things, and all of a sudden I came across this kid by the name of Aaron Torres. You ever hear of Aaron Torres?
Yep.
And he had a thing called Sports Podcast, and all about ND and USC. Riley Leonard sat in not Riley Leonard, I'm sorry. Riley, Lincoln Riley sat in the media days for the Big Ten in 2024. And he said, if you have to end, well, what he said was this: Alabama doesn't schedule for the fans. Alabama schedules to win championships. So if you have to eliminate a lot of your games that are rival games, then you're going to have to do that. And so much of what I'm trying to think, you had said something last week about how Brady Quinn had stated something about him. Well, New Year's Eve, I'm watching, my sisters and I, my wife, were playing this game, but 8 feet away, I got the TV silence. I'm watching Miami and Ohio State. I couldn't believe how they handled Ohio State. But anyways, about 11:45, I'm waiting for something. I clicked over, and there was Brady Quinn's thing about how he's defending Notre Dame. He said the same thing I was telling you guys. He's afraid to play Notre Dame. He was the big guy down there, and he says, oh, look at, man, I can go I'm going to be going to the SEC. Are you serious? I can make this money at Southern Cal and play in the Pac-12. Well, then the Pac-12 went, bleh, and he says, oh, man, are you kidding me? Back into the fire again, playing Big Ten?
Yeah.
I'm going to get out of this Notre Dame thing. Well, on this Torres podcast, what I want people to look for, because just go Aaron Torres Sports Podcast, this ND USC, it'll show a picture of Lincoln Riley at first. Keyshawn Johnson came on, and he took the Board of Trustees, Lincoln Riley, and the AD to the woodshed.
Him and Papadakis seem to understand. Those are the two media guys they got that are on our side. I've heard them both. Both of those guys were great, Todd, and they both, it comes off genuine. Like, I don't trust a lot of Southern Cal USC stuff. Those guys seem very genuine about what the mistake this was from their end. Both of those guys I want to give credit to. Good call.
Yeah, so Keyshawn Johnson basically said, so what are we going to do? He said, are we going to play UC Davis and Sacramento State or what? Why don't we just give up football? Why don't we just stop playing Michigan and Ohio State and everybody? He says, the problem is you guys aren't Trojans. You'll never be a Trojan. He says, I was a Trojan. He says, we know you're taking away playing our biggest rivalry. He says, what is wrong with you? And he dropped an F-bomb on that thing. I mean, he was ticked. He was ticked. Now, I haven't heard Papadakis yet, but he was ticked.
Here's my problem with this. That Jen Cohen, the new AD and whatever, she's partially behind this. But I believe Lincoln Riley's little weaselly way, I believe he's a part of this. Todd, here's the problem I have. Lincoln Riley has not done enough, has not won enough at USC that he should have the power to sit in that room and alter all of history and the future. He is not warranted that. He is not Pete Carroll winning a bunch of titles and Eismans, and then you bring him in a room and you want his opinion on the future. That guy should not have a seat at that table. He should not have the power to do some of this, and he is behind a lot of it. I know it. He's a weasel.
Well, Keyshawn Johnson, I'll end with this about that thing. He said, you're worried about playing Notre Dame in the future? He goes, you keep missing the playoffs like you aren't going to have a future here.
It's a good point.
So anyways, the next thing, he took him to the woodshed. You asked the other day, Monday, you asked, what are the qualifications for someone to get on the college football playoff committee?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to read this, and it's a joke. It's a joke when you think about the people that were there. You get selected for the college football playoff committee by being a respected figure in college football, typically with extensive experience as a former coach, player, athletic director, or prominent media.
According to who?
Now listen.
According to who? They say. Respected in college football by who? Who gets to do
Well, that's what I'll get into. It tells you that. And it says possessing knowledge, integrity, and objectivity to evaluate teams. Selection is.
Wait a
now
second,
listen.
Todd. They had Michigan's AD in charge of all these scandals, in charge of the committee.
Well, here's what it says.
They had 3 scandals overlapping at once, and their AD was ahead of the committee. What do you?
Oh, I know. So it says here, the selection is by an independent body. University presidents and candidates are chosen for their deep understanding of the sport and ability to make tough decisions under pressure. Key characteristics and backgrounds of members. Diverse expertise. Expertise? The 13-member committee includes individuals of backgrounds as coaches, former or current.
I'm gonna have a stroke.
Yeah. Former student athletes, often Hall of Famers, college administrators, sitting directors of athletics, ADs, and journalists and media members. Strong credentials. Members often hold advanced degrees and have significant leadership experience in NCAA governance or athletic administration. I could care less about their degrees. I want to know if they understand the X's and O's of football. High standards. They are chosen for their integrity, objectivity, football expertise, and ability to discern complex information operating under scrutiny. The selection process is almost done. The selection process, independent body.
Jury instructions? Are we trying to find a jury? What are we doing?
It says the committee operates independently, guided by objectives, set by the CFP's board of managers. I don't know who they are, and which are the ADs, I believe. Nomination and appointment. While the exact process isn't public, individuals with these backgrounds are nominated and appointed by university presidents, ensuring a balanced and knowledgeable group. In essence, you earn a spot by being respected, knowledgeable, and impartial expert in the college football world with a proven ability, to analyze the sport at the highest level. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You want to know? You know, a lot of guys, will know what this is from. Trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, clean, brave, and reverent. Okay? 12 points of the Scout Law. Well, born again Christian, I can't lie. I'm going to look at things objectively. Last night, that kid never should have been called for targeting by Miami. They don't know the rule. It's the crown of the helmet, not the side of the helmet. Back when we had Hartman, we had a kid from Boston College going to return a kick against a group of 5. He gets nailed with the crown of the helmet in his left ear hole. They find no targeting. Later in the game, the ball took a funny bounce, whatever. And our guy, I think it was Jack, the linebacker there, he got called for targeting, going for a loose ball. They're diving at the ball. Are you serious? So they don't know the rules. And then you got people in the selection committee. I told you they're pencil neck geeks is what I refer to them as. They don't know football. Now listen to all the qualities. Integrity? Are you serious? Integrity involves being honest, being truthful, being forthright. And we didn't see that. So then the other thing that got me, there's a program that comes on, College Football Final. And Joey Galloway pumped us. And there's a kid on there that hosts it's Matt Berry. Well, Matt Berry also does a thing with the guy I think you were talking about we can have this many SEC teams, Paulie Feinbaum, right? And
didn't he say he was going to leave the country if the SEC wasn't in the championship game or something? I'm pretty sure he did.
He didn't say it in this video, but I remember calling his program, several years ago. I mean, it had to be when Laura Rutledge was working for him and she was fielding calls. And I said, I want to talk about something in relation to Notre Dame and this thing here. We don't discuss that here. And she clicks me off. What a twit. And so anyways, there's the video out there of Matt Berry and him, because Matt Berry and him do this thing. I don't know, it's weekly, whatever. They have a podcast together. Well, he was talking about Alabama and everything. And now, lo and behold, they both come to the conclusion that definitely Notre Dame would have been the better team instead of Alabama. They said it. They spoke it out there. Really? Really? You come to that conclusion now?
Yeah, too late.
Yeah, a little too late.
It's all frustrating.
Then last night, Mississippi, I kept screaming at the TV. My wife goes, "Hon, take it easy." I said, "Listen, they're rushing them. They're not umbrellaing Carson Beck. They're all going around the edges, and he's running in between. No, you got to do an umbrella and crush the umbrella in so he can't run. You don't open up the middle to let him run." By the way, a comment last night on the game. I did not know this. I knew he was like a PG. I did not realize this was his 7th year in college.
Yeah.
7 years. The man's almost 25 years old, if not 25. He's a grown man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm like, I couldn't believe it. And so, anyways, getting back to the portal and the things we need. We don't know how they think. We don't know how the coaches think. We have no idea how they think. And here's the big thing we have to do, John. We just have to trust Freeman. But like I said, once again, he needed to have a press conference after the signing. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here for blah, blah, blah. We're trying to put things together. Yeah, it was a season that kind of shook us because we thought we were going to be in the playoffs and we weren't. Team decided as a whole not to go to a bowl game. But here's what we're looking at for the next year. We're going to study the portal. And if we have players that we need, which we do know we have existing positions that need to be filled, we will take them. And just you're going to have to trust us. Then I think after the portal, if they sign people, I think they need to come out because maybe the last time we've seen them after the Stanford thing, did they do something for signing day? That was after Stanford, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
I don't know what. I don't know.
I think the signing day. But yeah, it was like I'm like, you got to say something. You've got this coast to coast, north, south, east to west people, subway alumni is what I call us, right? Subway alumni. There's more of us, I think, than there are people that actually graduated. You've got to let us know what's going on, just from a standpoint, even if it's, we decided there wasn't anybody really that we could use, or they didn't want to come, or the biggest thing is academics, right? I mean, they are student athletes. Notre Dame does refer to them like that. And that's a big thing. And you got to remember one other thing that he always says about picking a person. They got to fit our culture. So we don't know. Do they fit the culture?
Yeah.
We don't know that.
So we got to be okay not knowing. And that's hard for us. And you want to answer.
You it is.
I got to be more okay not knowing, and then we'll figure this thing out. Todd, real quick, I got to get going here. Wrap it up with your thought about the game tonight and what you think about how this CFP is going to end. Oh, boy, I was pulling for – I'll tell you, that quarterback from Mississippi, I think he's going to get drafted higher than you think. But anyways, they had a shot, and they blew it. They blew it when they should have went for a touchdown, ran a screwy play. They could have had the touchdown early in that drive where the penalties came against Miami. Tonight, I just feel that Indiana can beat them again. I just feel that. I think they're a well-rounded team. I don't hate Indiana. Here's what I hate. The arrogance of Signetti. That's what I hate. It's not the players. I can't blame Coogan if he went there and shared what he learned at Notre Dame and I get what you mean.
The guys together.
Yeah, it's not the way that Signetti's whole thing is.
Yeah, the facial expressions and like what we did it, and this was that, and this is how we win. It's just it's an arrogance. It's and Saban mellowed out in years afterwards, right? In fact, I just seen a picture of him playing football for Kent State. My buddy Ricky Kennedy was there with him when he went to school there. He had long hair and sideburns. Oh, he looked nothing like he looked now. But anyways, I just think Indiana can do it again. It's tough to say to beat a team twice, but you're on a neutral field. You got a team that's playing well-rounded football, offense, defense, special teams. Everything's clicking. I can't see that falling apart. And I think they can win that. I would pick them to win. I'm thinking by at least a touchdown. By at least a touchdown, I would pick Indiana. I'm going to hate it because we're going to see Indiana and Miami. It's going to be my worst case scenario. Yeah, you got to pick the worst of the two. You got to go with the best of the two evils, right? I mean, if Indiana and Miami plays, you'd have to go with Indiana because Miami's the worst of the two. Yeah, this is tough. And I'm watching them games.
Enjoy the game. Enjoy these the rest of the playoff situation. Watch the NFL. We'll talk about it on Monday, brother.
Yeah, all right. You take care, Johnny. Have a blessed weekend.
Oh, yeah. You know me. I'm just going to be all calm watching these games.
You just got to chill out, man. Yeah, I don't drink.
Yeah.
I don't drink, but I don't drink, but you can grab your Miller Lite, get some chips and some salsa, and just enjoy.
I'll see what I could do. Oh, you guys are a riot, man. Doctor, you guys are hilarious in this chat. I'm telling you. You guys are funny. Dr. John, they have no obligation to tell us a damn thing. That is correct. But what that means is if you're not telling us anything, you also can't blame the fans and the media for making their own conclusions based on what they see. That's a double-edged thing. It's totally true. They have no obligation to tell us their portal plan and how much money they have to spend. True. But when there's a lack of information, people are going to draw their own conclusions. And that's just how it's going to be. You can't not have activity in the portal that's positive, not tell anybody anything, and then expect everybody to neutrally sit by and watch the sport happen in front of you with everybody else landing guys and not have an opinion on it. That's not realistic. So they don't have to tell us nothing, but that opens up all the speculation and the rumors. And that's just how it's going to be. People are not just going to sit there neutrally and then make their opinion on the last day when the portal closes. That's just not how the world works. So they don't have to tell me nothing, but in the lack of information, I can only go by what I see. And I see a lot of other teams getting guys I thought you might have wanted. So I don't know, man. Terrence, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, John?
You know how I'm doing. I'm stressed out, Terrence.
Hey, man, we all stressed out, man. This portal thing is getting ridiculous, man. I don't know, man. Mike Martin, man, is he a Michigan grad or something, man? Because he don't want Notre Dame to have nothing.
What I don't. What do you think is going on? Do you think they had a bad plan, a bad philosophy, bad execution, not enough money, bad planning, or are they just real picky about who they're going to allocate and we haven't seen it yet? What do you think is happening?
Man, I don't know what's happening, John, man. I really can't tell, man. I think maybe they just went in with a bad plan, man. They something ain't right. You know, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but man, this is not good for Notre Dame, man. I don't know if the guy is a Michigan grad, a USC grad. He's somebody grad, but he definitely not helping out Notre Dame in this portal situation. I don't know if it's the coaches or it's Mike Martin.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Everybody was so geared up for this because we're so frustrated with how the year ended. You were looking to that portal as the next big chance to really get some momentum going. Maybe they still can. Maybe over the weekend they announced 4 or 5 really good guys and we all feel better. I'm open to that. But as I sit today, that's not the case.
Yeah, man. I'm hoping that in the next week or so, man, maybe some of these guys that's still playing, man, maybe they hop into the portal and maybe we grab a couple of them guys, man. But right now, man, I hate seeing Indiana. It was like Nick Marsh went to Indiana and they locked him in a room and said, "You ain't going nowhere."
Yeah. Hey, man, I just, I don't know, man. I'm just not in the place with all these playoff games going on, watching Miami win and then maybe watching Indiana play. It's all bubbling up and I'm frustrated, dude.
Yeah, man, I'm rooting for Oregon, man, because like I said in the chat, man, like the DR Hill kid, man, my son played with him at Altal Catholic last year. They won a state championship together. You know, I'm really hoping that Oregon win and man, maybe the kid can get a state championship and a national championship.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. I'm just I'm waiting for us to be able to move forward. And I want this playoff thing to be over. We can have a clean slate, get some guys in the portal. We can get into spring ball and just go. I'm waiting for us to get there.
Man.
And it's been a struggle.
Look, man, the coaches just if we don't get anybody in the portal, the coach is going to have to coach, man. You know, man, this is Mike Brown. This is this is the last opportunity you get, man. You got talented receivers. There's no way that Cam Williams should be this far behind, man. He should not be this far behind. You know, they're going to have to coach.
Yeah, it's that's a really good point, Cam Williams. It's your time to shine, maybe. I don't know those calculations either, man. They look at the portal and maybe be like, man, we would like this guy, but for what he's going to cost in this inflated market, we would rather double down on the guys we recruited in-house and give them a chance. I don't know how they do those calculations, and I don't know how they evaluate and who they believe in coming up. I don't know.
And I see somebody, you know, had a topic the other day on Facebook, like, man, they can't wait to, you know, they stop giving these kids these extra years, man. Kids staying in college as long as NFL careers now. And, you know, 25, 26, 27 years old, man, you should be in the NFL. You shouldn't be playing no college football, man. And I also think, man, like this portal thing, man, they need to double down on it, man. Like, you get one opportunity to transfer. If you transfer again, then you got to sit out a year, and you lose that year.
Yeah, there's starting to be some momentum to the idea that the one-time transfer thing is fine, and there are some people starting to be like, we need to eliminate this year-to-year jumping to the highest bidder. Maybe unless your coach leaves, you get one free transfer, and after that, you got to sit out like the old days.
Yeah, and not only with that, man, you lose that year also. You know, is it worth risking a year just to say, man, I'm gonna go to the highest bidder, but I got to sit out, and not the highest bidder saying like, oh no, we don't want to pay you that much because you got to sit out.
Yeah, I think that would start to wind that down. What do you make of these playoff games? What'd you think of Miami last night? What do you expect to see tonight?
Man, I'm going to be honest, man. I'm one of the Notre Dame fans that haven't watched not a bowl game or the playoffs.
Good for you, man. I wish I had that in me because I know it's going to make me mad, and then I watch anyways, and then I get mad. It's really stupid, but I do it.
I hate ESPN, man. I'm just boycotting ESPN this year. NBA games, NFL games, it doesn't matter. I'm just boycotting ESPN.
I like that. Tom, why are you calling me? I'm still on the air, and you're probably watching. I'm still on the air, buddy.
Anyway. the Freeman situation, man. To me, man, I'm not really worried about Freeman because what he gonna do is what he gonna do. But I don't want him to get up there and lie to us and be like, "Hey, I'm here for the rest of my life," and then in the middle of me, next season, after next season, he'd be like, "Man, I'm gone."
Yeah, I think it might be a year-to-year thing now if the NFL continues to pursue him. I don't know. So you got to win while you got the guy.
I was just telling somebody the other day, I just don't see Freeman going to the NFL because I don't think he's the NFL type of guy. You know what I mean? I know he's a high commodity in the NFL, but I think the NFL will eat him up, man, because, dude, you could barely win games in September. You know what I mean? You're not winning in September against the NIUs and people like that. What made you think? I'm saying in September you playing not the Bears, but the Bears was actually decent this year. But you playing the Tampa Bay or Carolina or nobody that's supposed to win more than 8 games, and you lose them 2 games back to back. Man, nah, man, you need to stick it out with college kids. I think he mostly don't do like the Sabins and the Steve Spurriers and all them and go get ate up by the NFL. Just stay with the kids, man.
Yeah, I'm with you. And the other thing is, a lot of times, first-time head coaches in the NFL or guys coming from college in the NFL, man, I'm telling you what, you could end up at a bad organization and you're screwed, man. Like if you go to one of them lower organizations because the higher level ones want a guy with a little NFL history, man, it's a good opportunity, but you may not have the infrastructure and it could go real bad on you.
And man, it just and the Giants is a bad organization, man. They've been bad for a long time. You do not want to go there, man. You don't want no parts of that.
Yeah, it's so I don't know, man. It's been really, really frustrating. I'm ready to get to spring ball on a clean slate and coach up whatever we got, man. Anything else? Thanks. It's good to hear from you.
Man, that's all, man. I mean, maybe if the Browns would have fired their coach earlier, maybe he probably would have walked for the Browns, being from Ohio. But man, not the Giants. Please don't go to the Giants, man.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. So we'll see what happens. Terrence, thanks for jumping on, buddy. Good to hear from you.
All right, my man.
We'll see you. Take it easy. Have a good weekend. All right, guys, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it for the show. We're in a weird place. I don't know what else to say. We're in a really, really weird place here. We need good portal news over the weekend. We need Mark. My Browns interviewed Tommy Reese. What a full circle moment for Mark with glasses. That you're going to end up a depressed Notre Dame fan, a depressed Browns fan, and then have Tommy Reese as the coach. It's kind of like football has found a way to just torture Mark with glasses, unfortunately. All right, you guys, I got to get going. Oh, man, you guys are hilarious. All right, I'll see you on the Patreon. Enjoy the games, I guess. I don't know. See ya. Thanks for being here. Thanks for donating.